overheated, overheated, component, component, derailment, derailment, heed, heed, inspection, inspection, preliminary, preliminary, standstill, standstill, eastbound, eastbound, hazardous, hazardous, flammable, flammable, subsequent, subsequent. An overheated railcar component likely caused the train derailment near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border on February 3rd. The wheel bearing failed as the Norfolk Southern crew heeded a warning to immediately slow down and ultimately stop the train for an inspection, according to the National Transportation Safety Board's preliminary report. By the time the roughly 150-car train came to a standstill in East Palestine, Ohio, the crew saw fire and smoke and notified authorities of a possible derailment. It had been heading eastbound at 47 miles per hour, below the speed limit. Of the 38 derailed cars, 11 contained hazardous materials, such as vinyl chloride, a flammable and toxic gas. The environmental mess, subsequent cleanup, and ongoing health concerns have frustrated residents and local officials. Staple, staple, wheat, wheat, grain, grain, stoke, stoke, spike, spike, fertilizer, fertilizer, royal, royal. Another food staple is in short supply because of the climate crisis and the war in Ukraine. While the costs of wheat and other grains have fallen in recent months, the price of onions is soaring, stoking inflation and forcing countries to protect supplies. Restrictions have extended to other vegetables and fruits, including carrots, tomatoes, potatoes, and apples, limiting availability worldwide. Meanwhile, the spiking cost of fertilizers is still roiling food production, and serves as a reminder that Russia and China control most of the world's supplies. Moonshot, moonshot, underway, underway, date back, date back, non-invasive, non-invasive, glucose, glucose, monitor, monitor, endeavor, endeavor, prick, prick, boon, boon, diabetic, diabetic, cement, cement, firepower, firepower, confront, confront. Apple has a moonshot-style project underway that dates back to the Steve Jobs era. Non-invasive and continuous blood glucose monitoring. The goal of this secret endeavor is to measure how much glucose is in someone's body without needing to prick the skin for blood. Such a breakthrough would be a boon to diabetics around the world and help cement Apple as a powerhouse in healthcare. U.S. President Joe Biden will nominate former MasterCard Chief Executive Officer Ajay Banga to be the next president of the World Bank, as Washington pushes the lender to expand its financial firepower and confront global issues such as the climate crisis and public health. Individual, individual, sue, sue, take effect, take effect, en masse, en masse, plaintiff, plaintiff, prominent, prominent, avert, avert, strike a deal, strike a deal, poisonous, poisonous, legacy, legacy, block, block, restoration, restoration, mandate, mandate, scrap, scrap. The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments tomorrow in a case challenging the Biden administration's move to forgive up to $10,000 in debt for borrowers making less than $125,000 a year. Individuals and Republican state officials sued to block the plan from taking effect, arguing that Biden and the Education Department didn't have the legal authority to cancel debt en masse. Before the justices can consider this argument, the plaintiffs have to make the case that they have standing. President Biden said Tuesday he would nominate Julie Su, the number 2 official at the Labor Department, to lead the agency, maintaining continuity with a department that played a prominent role in averting a rail strike last year. Ms. Su, age 54, is Chinese American. Britain and the EU struck a deal over Northern Ireland trade. The agreement seeks to resolve one of the most poisonous legacies of Brexit, Britain's exit from Europe's trade bloc. It could help to avert a potential trade war and possibly open the door to the restoration of Northern Ireland's government. Hong Kong ends mask mandate, one of the world's last. Chief Executive John Lee on Tuesday announced the scrapping of the mask mandate as the pandemic has been largely contained, with no major spike in the number of cases so far.